Hey guys, today I want to talk about money and how it works and what we're taught about it as we grow up. So, in the traditional school system here, I think since like the industrial age, we've been kind of taught um, that you need to get good grades, do what you're told in school, go to college, get a job, and live the American dream. Um, I'm not so. I mean, it probably had a lot of relevance, you know, back when that school system was originated. But I think a lot's changed since then. Even in my generation, a lot has changed. I'm a Gen Xer, so I grew up in the '80s, was kind of my childhood, and then the '90s is when I graduated high school, late '90s. But back then, we didn't have all the information that we have now, and things were a lot different. And you couldn't just go look up stuff on the internet and figure out answers to things. You didn't have YouTube, you didn't have Google, you didn't have all that stuff. So, what we learned in school was taken a lot more seriously, and what we were taught by our parents was taken a lot more to be the absolute truth. But, as you kind of unveil the curtain, what's behind the curtain, and you start to look into things, now we have the opportunity where we can find a lot more information out without having to rely on just what's being taught to us by our teachers or our parents or the media or whatever. And I think a lot of that they have good intentions, and that's the way. I mean, our parents are not going to try to mislead us most of the time, so it's just the way that they understand things and the way that they're taught. But the school system, they teach you to just go through the school, go through their curriculum, go through, graduate your high school, get your high school diploma, do as good as you can, get good grades, be the valedictorian or whatever. I don't even know how to say it, but do all those things, and you'll do well in life, is what they tell you. So, we're told to go get a job and work 40 hours a week, get a 9 to 5. That's probably the best paying job. Work your way up the ladder. And maybe by the time you're 60, you'll have enough money accumulated in your retirement or savings that you can get out of that. You can stop doing that job. So that's the way we've been taught traditionally, and I think it's getting a lot less that way as time goes on. As the younger generations see what's going on with social media and stuff like that, and you can see that a lot of people are making careers and stuff from social media, which to me is still kind of crazy to think about. I think to a lot of people it still is kind of crazy, and it goes against the whole college degree, and it's not what's traditionally been taught. So the idea is that you get this predictable income from your employer, and the only way to grow past that, they tell you what your value is, they tell you what you're worth, they tell you what they're going to pay you, they tell you how to live your life basically while you're on the clock with them. And then they give you raises and promotions and things like that according to the value you provide to them. So this limits the earning potential that you can get, because there's only so many hours in a day, and you're paid based on your effort. So you're not really based on the value that you create to to others or anything. You're just based on the amount of work that you put in. And if they think that you're not putting in enough work, then it's time to cut you, time to get rid of you. So you kind of rely on someone else to determine your value, and you're not guaranteed a job the next day either. I mean, anything can happen. They can lay you off, or the business could go under, or they could say the economy is bad, and your income is at risk, and you only have that one income usually when you're doing that. how most people traditionally make their livings is, just the one income to provide for the whole family. And it's getting to the point now where inflation is so bad that one income doesn't really cut it anymore. It's you kind of have to have both parents working now, to make it to get by. So it's not really the ideal situation, I don't think, for most people. I don't know. Maybe some people enjoy their jobs, but I think if you talk to the majority of people, everybody talks about, oh, you know, TGIF, it's Friday, so I got the weekend to look forward to. And then when Monday comes around, everybody's like, oh, it's Monday. So that mindset is there when you go to work, and everybody's thinking that, and everybody's, they even verbalize it. So that attitude is out there about having to do this for your whole life. And we're just used to it as, well, that's just what's got to be done. But it's kind of sad, really, in a way, if you think about it, just to spend the majority of your life at work doing something for somebody you don't even really know that well. And anyways, there's a little focus on there's really no focus on creating something on your own that generates income. You're really creating something or helping somebody else create something. You're helping somebody else and not doing things on your own. So after looking through this type of stuff for years now, I'm trying to figure out, over the past few years, I've studied a lot about, alternatives to going to work for the corporate side. And at first I got into a little bit of investing and, doing, creating wealth through rentals, like real estate. So I looked into that for a while. And then I think real estate is a good way to keep your money, but I really think, after looking for a long time, that entrepreneurship is the way to create money, at least on a scale where you can get rid of a job and do all that type of stuff. I mean, investing is good, but I think investing is more for, once you have some money to invest with, do that and hold on to your money or let it grow on the side. But really, I think building a business is probably the only real way out of the system. Obviously, the sooner you can do it, the better. The younger that you can be when you do it, the better. But some of the things about being an entrepreneur or starting a business that people don't understand, and so that's what I'm trying to explain here, is that in order to think differently and get out of that whole trading your time for money, you really need to start thinking about, instead of, what can I do to trade my time for, you need to start thinking about, what kind of problems can I solve for people. So entrepreneurs really, they solve problems or meet needs. And then that's how they create the value that people are willing to pay for. So the more value that you can create for somebody, the more that they're willing to pay for it, or the more people you're able to help, or the bigger problems that you're able to solve. Either way you look at it, that's more value that you can create through your business or through entrepreneurship. So you have to shift from thinking about, how much can I get paid for doing this hourly wage, into thinking more of, how can I create a solution to a problem that people need. And this can be a solution to a personal problem, like with people, or it can be a solution to a problem that other businesses may face. So something like website design, every business needs a website. So something like that, or, mowing people's grass is a business that you can start pretty simply. So, owning a business, it really just allows you to generate income that isn't tied directly to the hours that you work. It's more just value based. What solution can you solve? What solution can you provide for a problem? It's whether it's a product or a service or an online business, it gives you more control over your earning potential if you think about it that way. So you're not limited to, working for $20 an hour or whatever. You can really break free of that whole hourly thing. You've got to think, and it's a very difficult thing to do. It still takes, I mean, over the years I've tried to break free of that, time for money thing, and it's so ingrained in us from just the way that we're taught from school and parents and whoever's teaching. But in business, there's things you can do to leverage that time because everybody's limited by time, but there's ways in business that you can leverage that time, and one of them is hiring other people to do things or to automate processes or to create business processes, or even if you can implement some sort of machinery, like that's what the industrial age was all about, right? But building systems and automation can allow you to scale, and you don't need to be involved in everything. So it gives you more freedom to be able to control the business itself and not just, each individual thing in the business. So entrepreneurs, they grow wealth by leveraging other systems, different systems. The creating a business is just creating a bunch of systems that solve a problem or provide a solution to something or a product for something. And you can do that with employees, or you can do it with automation technologies or partnerships. You don't have to do everything yourself. So you build a system where value is created, even when you're not directly involved. So you have to stop thinking about yourself as someone who performs tasks and start thinking about yourself as someone who solves problems. So, like I said, the bigger the problem is, the greater the reward. Um, so there's always risk when you think about a business. So there's risk, even if you're an employee, there's risk. There's a risk that you could lose your job and not have a job the next day. But, we're not guaranteed anything in life, really. So as entrepreneurs, you see that risk as an opportunity. You see it as an opportunity to innovate or to grow. And then, while the traditional mindset avoids risk, it's the entrepreneur that looks at risk as an opportunity. So every failure that you have in the school systems, they teach you that failure is bad, and you need to get everything right. You need to get the problems right, and you need to be repeating it correctly every time. But in business and trying to find out things about, how you can offer things to people, offer solutions, failure is a chance to learn. It's a chance to adjust. It's a chance to try again. Failure's not a bad thing. It's how we learn. When you were learning to walk, you failed a lot, but getting up and trying again was the thing that got you there. So overcoming those failures is the key to being successful. I mean, if you failed and you just said, "Oh, forget it, I can't do it," then of course you're not gonna get there, but you have to keep trying. You have to learn from it. That's the main thing is learn why. Why did that fail? Ask yourself questions. Start to question things. When we don't question things, that's where I think we fall into a lot of this trap, and that's how we got in this in the first place is we don't well, I don't think we've questioned authority enough to, or question just the mainstream thinking enough to get out of that mindset that we're stuck in. So, um, if we can focus on creating wealth through innovation, through new thinking or intellectual property, we can generate value over time, you know, over our failures and our things that we try differently. So if you're thinking about doing something outside of the box, if you're thinking about, you want to get out of your job, think of start thinking about a side hustle. Think of something that you can do on your own that you're good at or that you want to learn or you have a passion for and see if you can provide a service for somebody and you might have to do it for free until you get good to a point where people start offering to pay you or you feel like you're at a point that's ready. But even if you start on a small scale and you focus on the long-term growth and scalability, if you start to think about how it can be done and just stop thinking about no, it can't be done, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not that smart, or whatever. Don't say can it be done? Say how can it be done? How can I do that? That's a better question to ask yourself, and it unlocks a part of your brain that starts to think about, what can I do that would get me to this point where I want to be at. So once you get into that place where you can start to build something, then you'll start to see the potential that you have. Um, so it's really a good place to put yourself in and start to think about, what you can do and what your limitations are and where you can go. And it's actually really exciting once you get it figured out or start to get it figured out. And you know, once you start to do this, it's more about the constant growth and where you can go with it that really it gets motivating. It starts to you start to motivate yourself to go to the next level. Um, so I hope this has been kind of helpful for you. It's it's something that I'm still learning a lot myself. So it's a journey that I'm on, and this YouTube journey that I've started here, it's part of this too. It's something that I'm trying to overcome some fears that I have and trying to get better at doing this so I can maybe provide more value to somebody else and get them past um, past points where you're blocking yourself, past those points where you say, I'm not good enough, I can't, those type of mindset blocks. So if you found this useful, I hope you did. I hope you will be encouraged by this. And um, I really hope that somebody can get a value out of this. Um, and stick around because I'm going to try to make more content like this. So thanks for watching.